I'm Maya from Secret Hitler and Breaking Games, and I'm here with two representatives of Catan Studio, Kelli and Ron.
Hey.
Hi.
We're going to talk about this many-faceted, so many bits and bobs, very exciting space game. What's it called?
Catan Starfarers.
Yes, Catan Starfarers. Can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, Catan Starfarers is a reboot of a game that was first published in 1999 called Starfarers of Catan, and went out of print for a long time. It's the 20th anniversary of that game, and so it's been reimagined with new art. It now has a variable board, better, more durable pieces, refined rules to make it play a little faster, just a whole bunch of improvements to make this game a lot more fun and quick and approachable.
Mm-hmm. Beefed up, amped up, ready for 2019.
Exactly.
Awesome. So who can play? How many people get involved in this game?
3 to 4 players.
3 to 4 players. Yeah. Okay. And what is each player doing? What is the goal of this game?
The goal, like basically all Catan games, it's a game of exploration, settlement, you're growing your control over an area, expanding your clans.
World domination.
Not quite that.
Space
it's more,
domination.
Yeah, if you like.
Okay. All right.
I clearly know how you're playing.
Oh, yes. I'm very serious about space.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the player markers? What's going on?
We got
Who is what?
player pieces for colors.
I see. The yellow,
Yep.
red, the white, and the blue.
Bingo. They break
Okay.
down into basically these little bits. So the key thing that you will get and settle out on these little planets, and these little planetary systems, is a colony. It's a little worker colony. Imagine it's like a giant factory mining these uninhabited planets that have various resources that they need to help you build your empire. You also have trading outposts. And trading outposts, you can use these because as we explore this new space, we're going to encounter various different alien civilizations that have different kinds of technologies and abilities they can teach us. So if we set up trade outposts with them, they will teach us new abilities that we get to use.
That's
the
awesome.
game. Yeah.
So I remember you guys are saying that this is a revamp of a game that came out 20 years ago. And you're also saying that it's similar to other Catan games in that you are exploring, seeing what's going on, trying to absorb the knowledge and the everything where you're seeing things going on. How easy of a game is this to get into? Like, if you've played some other Catan games, would you be able to pick this up really quickly? Or if you haven't played those games, can you still pick it up in a good way?
Yes, if you've played Catan, you can spend a game or two at this and become really proficient at it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. You
Cool.
don't need to be into deep expansions or standalone games.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it for new incoming gamers, is it also pretty easy to pick
It
up?
can be. My first week at this job, I've been at this job six months.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I went out and got to play test this game, and I had only casually played the base game, and it was super easy for me.
Okay, can pick up. Couple of
Yeah.
rounds.
Yep.
Yep.
So if you're familiar with Catan, you can definitely play this game.
Definitely.
Okay.
Base mechanism, certainly. There's
Yes.
there's more subtlety to this in terms of the strategy and seeing what other players are doing, like to get really good at it. It can be a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what are some of the strategies or the mechanics that make this game unique? Like, what stands it out from the other Catan games and also just in general?
Sure. Well, one of the obvious things in Catan, normally you have a pretty compact board, lots of hexes adjacent.
Right.
If you notice here, when we're putting our colonies, there's only 2 spots adjacent
Yeah.
to produce.
I was gonna say, I see hexes,
It's as
but-
if every single thing is a coastal piece
Cool.
in Catan, so no 3 numbers for every settlement.
Interesting.
So for that, you have to really plan out where you're going. If
Yeah.
we need access to another resource, you have to really carefully figure out where they are, go to that spot if you want to acquire it, or realize that you're going to be forced to trade with other people to
Right.
get those.
Right, so this is one of those games where you're trying to garner as many resources as you can to spread more and then put more things out there on the game board.
Exactly.
Let's talk about all these adorable little doohickeys in your game. So you told us about the big one is a colony,
Yep,
and then the little one is a trading post.
correct.
What is that little circle-y?
This little circly thing is
what's
a
that?
shipyard. So a shipyard you can add to a colony, like so. Drops right over. And this allows your colonies to produce new ships.
Okay,
Mhm.
So you're given one ship
You start with one ship
at the beginning of the game.
and one, what they call the spaceport. So
Okay.
colony plus shipyard equals spaceport.
And you need more resources via exploring in
Mhm.
order to build more ships and then explore some more, basically,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so what are all these cards over here? Are those the
These
resources?
are the resource cards.
Cool.
So each, just like Catan, you have different areas that produce different
More
resources.
of the resources, yes.
Exactly. So green planets produce food, red planets produce ore, the orange planets produce fuel, blue planets produce carbon, and these rainbow stripy ones produce goods.
That's my favorite one. That one's
And
pretty.
I'm really happy with the art.
Yeah, I was just
It's
looking at it.
like-
It's really pretty.
it pops
Yeah, you said the art was kind of like revamped based on the old art.
Yep.
What's
It's
going on?
similar, but it's more modern.
More modern.
It looks newer, fresher,
Exactly.
more 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. It totally fits.
And in fact, the original version was called the Starfarers of Catan. Was painted by, at that time, a fairly young and upcoming artist, Franz Vollwinkle.
Nice.
And one of the things we decided to do when we did the full redux is go back to Franz and say, "Hey, Franz,
Oh, dang.
how would you like to reimagine your
That's
that
awesome.
old
So
art?"
you just got Franz in again.
And we
Yeah.
got him in again.
That's cool.
And
And he did
it's
a
amazing to
beautiful
see how much his artistic style has improved. He really sort of nailed a modernization of that imagining.
Awesome.
It was really
Thank
fun.
you, Franz. So, all right. Making ships, colonies, trading posts, circly thingy. What are I see these little bits as well.
Oh.
What are these?
Those little bits
Yes,
are
little bits.
They are called a honor. They used to be honor ring. They're fame medals now.
No.
So fame medals, if you get two of these, this is a half of a victory point.
Okay.
If you get two of them, they go together to form a full victory
Makes
point.
sense. Makes sense.
Exactly. So you clip them together, get more points.
Okay.
And you will get these through various encounters with these little cards.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and then this looks like a what is this counting here? What is
That's your victory point.
Victory
track.
Victory point counter. So the goal of the game is to expand and get resources, but also to have the most victory points.
Yes. Like
Okay.
most games, you do all these things in service of
Victory
track
points.
or victory.
Okay, right,
It's straight
right.
up victory.
And so those other rockets are some of the more rockets you can purchase.
Yeah, these don't actually go on the board by themselves.
Oh, dang,
These are our little transport ships.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do with the transport ship is you attach it to either a trade post or
Or a
a
colony.
colony,
Mhm.
like so.
Oh, that was
and
so
that becomes the trade ship.
You're a little where you're
If I
going.
have another one of these,
Yeah, you can do
and
that.
I
as well.
edit that, and we make this into, where's the little bitty hole? There it is.
Okay.
Colony ship.
Oh, that's
like
cool. Okay.
Then when they come, they settle. If I land there, you just take the rocket off, then your colony sits there. Voila.
So I'm looking at these little circles across the board that have numbers on them. What do those numbers indicate?
Just like in Catan, you roll for resources. So on your turn, you're going to roll the dice, and depending on what number comes up, determines which planet produces resources. So if we rolled an 8, yellow and red would get carbon.
Okay.
And
Nice.
the different colors, just like in Catan, indicate higher probability. So if
Okay.
they are big and red, 8s have a higher probability of being rolled than a 2 or an 11, which are smaller. So that it just helps indicate probability.
Okay. And so we've got dice in the game, and you were mentioning earlier there's a dice story. I am so intrigued. Please fill
Yes.
me and the internet, but mostly me, in on the dice story.
When I was telling you about my first week and they had me come out and learn about this game and play test it, I'm new to the industry. I did not know anything about these things, but I learned why these games end up being so great is they spent an hour talking about dice.
Seriously?
And what they should look like, what they should feel like, how they should shine, if they should be shiny or glow in the dark or sparkly or swirly or just plain. I was blown away.
Honestly?
and
like, yeah.
but it's the reason that the attention to detail is what makes this so incredible.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm starting to get into like D&D more, and I have so many dice, and you were like, they're trying to figure out which dice to use, and I'm like, that's valid because I have a bag of like 30 dice, and like I'll throw one day, and I'm like, you're doing terrible. I'm gonna throw the other ones, and like even that kind of confidence that like the dice can give you is something that really good developers think about when they're making games.
Yes.
That is so cool.
If you think about it, in almost any board game with dice, that's probably the one game component you're going to interact with the most.
Exactly.
Like, everybody touches them. You're using it all the
Absolutely.
time. It's really important that they be, for the Catan brand, super high quality, feel thematic,
They look nice.
make you feel in part of the game.
And then we've also got these, I see each of us have 3
Yep.
of
Yeah.
these cards here. What do these cards mean, and how do we use them in the game?
Well, they're your basically play aids.
Okay.
So you have one of them that's your turn overview.
Okay.
That explains what you do and how you do it on your turn in simple terms. So you don't have to be looking through a rule
Looking at the
book and
rules all
figure
the
it out.
time. Cool.
Then you have your building cost card. Building cost card is what it costs to do stuff. It's like a menu. It's like, okay, I want to build a trade ship. This is what it's going to cost me. So
Okay.
it's handy if you know specifically what you want to build, or if you're looking at your hand of cards, you're like, oh, what can I do?
Right, that's where the
Oh,
strategy
this is
comes
one of
in.
these things I could do. All right,
Right.
is that useful to me now?
Okay.
Etc. Then you have your victory point card that tells you what each thing is in the game that could give you a victory point and how much victory points it's worth.
Okay. Which at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do.
That's what it's all about.
Okay. What else is down here? We have this little we have a little, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a liver. What is what is this? What does it do?
Kelly.
It's a freight pod.
Okay.
So we haven't. It goes on this.
Yeah, I was
and I
saving
know
the
you're
best for
excited
last.
to get.
Yeah, I was saving 'cause
It's
this is
part
so
of
cool.
this.
Okay.
Part of this
It-
lovely.
This is part of that.
It
All right.
allows you to interact more with the alien outposts.
Okay.
And allows you to terraform ice planets. And they clip onto the side of the ships.
So it enhances how you're able to travel with your rocket, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So much travel, but what you can do when you get there. So
Oh,
it just
okay.
basically pops on like so.
Nice. And then they have these little orange thingies on the side of
Yep.
that. What do those do?
The boosters help your ships on the board move faster. So the big ship is basically
It didn't fall. It
the
didn't
big
fall.
ship
No,
is
I
basically a
just
proxy
followed
for your
Got it.
ships on the board.
Okay.
And so if you have your ship full of boosters, your ships on the board will be able to fly farther.
So boosters
On a turn.
for speed and distance. And then this is for carrying stuff, like
Yep.
resources?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So first of all, I love the like art that you're making by putting all these pieces in the rocket.
It's so you can feel a little bit like a kid.
That is,
And
like,
with
so satisfying to
Mr.
look at.
Potato Head, you know, it's got kind of that quality.
Did
to it.
Franz do the design of this too?
No,
Because
the
like
original sculptor for this was a gentleman by the name of Jason Bedoin.
Okay.
He did the sculpt design based on some ideas that myself and my coworker Morgan Dautenville, and then the Cosmos team and the Catan GmbH team, we did about 2 or 3 weeks of talking
Cool.
about what the new ship should look like,
Cool.
back and forth with different concepts, threw it to Jason.
nice.
And then it went off to the tooling company that figured out how to make Jason's crazy sculpts turn into something you could put in a box.
Well, thank you to all of those people
Yes.
because this thing is super cool. All right, and then I noticed there's some jingling. There's some like
Oh yeah.
some rattling.
Some
There's some
rattling
sounds
bits.
happening. What's going on with
These-
the rattling and the sounds?
I'm so obsessed with putting all the bits in.
I'm
This is-
obsessed with watching
This
you.
is my OCD kicking in. but,
Honestly, it's okay.
So inside this ship, for those of you who are familiar with the old games, you can drop them. You can drop them on their point.
Very
they won't
adorable.
break.
Very adorable.
But these cones pop off,
Mm-hmm.
and inside you have 5 little balls.
Okay, what are those?
So the balls are for a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of your turn, after you're doing your moves, you get to shake your mothership. So
You get to shake them
every turn,
like that's
every
in the
player.
rules.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Literally, it says on the
shake
turn.
your mothership.
Shake your mothership. Wow.
Yep.
Thank you.
So in this little tail cone here, it's sort
Okay.
of like the engine.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the 2 balls that will fall down there, and if you see a black ball, you get to have a cool space encounter.
Right, yeah, it says that. Shake your mothership, black ball appears, you have an encounter. Otherwise, move your ship. So
Right.
red, blue, and the other color,
Yep,
yellow.
So
I
if
know
I
what
get
colors
yellow
are.
and blue like so, I look at the card. Blue is worth 1, yellow is
Oh,
worth
there's
2.
different-
So
okay.
I have a base speed of 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I know, you're balling out.
9. Yeah, if you
That-
get to this
that
point,
ship's
this is
gonna go
very,
wherever
like,
you feel like.
This is like zipping all over the place.
Awesome.
So that one, each of the ships you have on the board have can move up to 9 spaces away.
That is a really cool game mechanic, the shaking of the mothership.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's very satisfying.
It is.
Kind of get your aggro
And then
out.
you were putting these on here, but we hadn't gone over them yet. What are these blue spiky thingies?
Those are cannons.
Cannons?
So, yeah, cannons. Sometimes in those encounter cards, you're going to run across space pirates.
Okay.
On some of these planets, you're going to find little outposts of space pirates who
Dastardly
inhabited
space pirates.
the planet, and you want to go mine that planet.
Okay.
So you have to get the pirates out or battle off the pirates there. So you will use the cannons.
Are you only using cannons to fight space pirates and or things that come in the game, the environment of the game?
Yes.
Or, okay, so you're not using space cannons to like shoot down the other players that you're
No.
playing with?
It's Catan.
Okay, yeah, I know, that's what I was like.
It's a very peaceful
Are you guys
game.
like really like turning the page
No.
of this and starting wars everywhere? Of
No,
course not.
no.
Of course not. It's still Catan. We're chilling. We're just fighting space pirates. We, however, we're playing against each other, so we're not exactly coexisting, but we're
Right.
coexisting angrily.
Exactly.
I think that's the best way to
You
say.
know, unexplored space can be a dangerous place.
Honestly.
Sometimes, pirates.
Those dastardly pirates. Okay, so we've gone over pretty much most of these things. What's this? This looks kind of like an image of the rocket on the thing. What is that? Yeah, what's that?
This is a little token. You may never have to use it in your game, but sometimes you might.
Yeah.
Each player only has 3 of these little ships. So if all 3 of your ships are in play, you might come across an encounter where you get a free ship. This is basically a little reminder token that next time I have one of these, I can turn it into a ship.
Okay.
Because, games are complicated, you might forget,
Right.
2 turns go by, and you're like, oh, that's right, I got that free ship.
right. Okay.
So that's all its purpose is to remind you, oh, you got a free ship.
We've said encounter a couple of times.
Mm.
What is an encounter in this game and how is it implemented?
All right, let's do a little simulation.
Oh my God, do
Let's
I get to
pretend
shake?
You have the awesome
Do
rocket
I get to
ship.
shake?
Yeah, you will.
Yes!
So, Kelly, read that card.
Okay. You encounter a merchant. Offer 0 to 3 resources as a gift. Pay your offering to the supply before continuing. So you choose a number 0 through 3 of how many of your resources you would want to just give to this
Right.
merchant.
He's just chilling?
He's just chilling. He's not nice. He's not mean. He's not bad.
All right. I'll probably help him out. Maybe
So-
like 2.
2? All right, 2. The friendly merchant is delighted. You receive any 2 resources from the supply and 1 fey metal piece.
Oh, cute. 1 fey metal piece, so half.
Yep,
Yep,
1 half.
of each.
Awesome.
And because you start the game with a half,
Right.
that brings you up a victory point.
Okay, cool. Honestly, that's really interesting. So does the response of the merchant vary based on the number that I choose to give him?
Yes.
Okay.
Had you chosen 0, it says the friendly merchant is disappointed. Out of pity, you receive 1 trade good from the supply.
Yikes, out of pity.
If you had said 3, the merchant would become suspicious of you and
Oh.
return your gift.
Oh, I can't
And
be too
each
nice.
of them are different. And
Okay.
they may sound the same when you're reading them,
Right,
but
right.
the results are different, so you never really know what's going to happen.
That's kind of fun. I kind of like the PvE element of the game
Mhm.
because it kind of feels almost like you're role playing as the Starfarer in
Exactly.
Catan. Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess we should talk about like an order of play, but before we do that, what are these guys?
Those
And
are the
then-
aliens.
Those are the aliens?
These are the alien civilizations. There are 4.
Mm-hmm.
They each have kind of a different ability. The green folk, they're called, have abilities to increase production of the planets.
Okay.
So if you become friends with them by putting trade outposts on
their
their
little boopity boops.
on their area,
Okay.
you get to pick a power.
Oh, neat.
And you might get one that's production increased fuel. So whenever your colonies or spaceports produce fuel, you take what you're owed plus 1. So you get extra resources basically by becoming
Right.
friends with them.
So the green people are working on producing things. So
Yep.
these are all like resource power-ups, basically.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What's going on with this orange guy?
These ones
The
are the
merchants?
merchants, and they improve your trade exchange rates. So
Okay.
just like in Catan, you can trade with other players and you can trade with the bank.
Okay.
Trading with the bank is 3 to 1, so 3 of the same for 1
Of
new
a different
resource.
type, yes.
Except for trade goods, which is 2.
Right.
Trade goods is super special, yeah.
Yep.
2-to-1 trade
Um,
baseline. They're very
But
powerful.
the merchants, because they're merchants, they give you better exchange rates, so you can get 2 for 1 if you have food.
Instead
So
of
it's
food.
a little bit like having a port
Okay, yeah.
in Catan.
Nice. And then let's move on down the road here. What is the red one?
Scientists.
Scientists, thank
She
you.
is so fancy, and I love the art.
Yes.
Please
Well,
tell
and look
Franz
at them.
that I love the art.
They're all very
Cool.
beautiful and different. These characters have better technology for building spaceships.
Right.
So they improve your upgrades. So if you've upgraded maybe one cannon in your spaceship, it gives you additional 2
Another
power.
one. Okay.
So you might get additional booster power.
Oh, right, for even one. So instead of having to have
Yes.
2, you could have one with the power of 2.
Yep.
And then you have more
Yeah.
space for even
Yep.
more.
Yep.
Exactly.
So they give your mothership additional power.
Cool. Let's do the blue guys.
Those are the
now.
politicians.
Politicians, so they
I
are
see.
diplomats.
Is that why they're so
They,
serious looking?
Yes.
Yes,
Is that why they're
they
also
are
all
very
lizards?
kind of regal.
Hilarious.
Almost.
Maybe.
Okay.
They're
That's really funny.
Very fancy.
They do
guys.
look real fancy. Like, these are
Yeah.
like, they're looking down their noses. What do they do?
They give you better advantages for trading
It's okay.
with.
It's a lot of different
Sorry,
things.
this
I
is
mean,
the
some
one.
of them
Oh,
give
that's okay,
you
that's okay.
different move abilities. Some allow you to trade, not really trade better, but manipulate trade. But some of them allow you to buy more fame.
Okay.
So they have little ways of working around the system.
Like, I was going to say, I was
so
like, are they
each
just
one
like
has
giving
a
you...
slight
Yeah.
different break the system
They're giving you, like,
rule.
cheating the system.
Right,
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
like this one,
Okay.
this is the one when I first played it, one of the players had this, and so just like in Catan, when you roll a 7, if you have more than 7 resources in your hand, you
Right.
lose half.
Right.
So this allows you to hold up to 12 in your hand without losing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Turned out to be a really huge advantage.
I was gonna say, that's
So
a huge
It
amount.
does help you kind of game the system just a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets you around some of the rules.
Yeah.
That's their jam.
And if you are the first person to settle on these outposts, you get this little figurine and you keep it here. They're worth 2 victory points.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone builds more outposts than you on this,
Then you
they
lose it
get
and they get it?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
it's majority rules.
Like long road, large army.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And so, being the first to reach these is pretty
It's pretty good.
advantageous.
Yeah.
So collecting those guys are
I
really
see
cute.
there's also these there's circles with some symbols on them. What do those mean? There's 2 different ones. There's like some empty ones and then there's some filled ones. Can you talk about the difference between those 2?
So if you look at the board, you'll see there's a kind of a rainbowy nebula cutting across.
I do see it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have sort of near space and far space.
Okay.
So the filled, not filled, just determines if it's
Distance.
distance. Exactly. Those are
Okay.
the far spaces. It's a quick way to know that those discs
They're
go
farther
out
away.
there. These come here.
Okay.
They match what's underneath.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So, and this is just another randomizing feature in the
Oh,
game.
okay.
So these, if I fly out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as soon as you reach a space adjacent to a sector, you flip them all face up. This
Oh,
was
and
it.
then this is the number with the
Correct.
resources with the rolling and the...
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was one speed up mechanism. In the old version, the person flying could peek at it and leave it down.
Interesting.
Now, just like, hey,
You
everybody
reveal
gets
them.
to see.
Once you get there, you
And
reveal them.
that makes it a lot easier for other players to decide if they're going to go there, if they're not.
And, okay.
Um,
I noticed
and-
for the movement, you're moving from corner to corner.
Yes,
is that
that's
how the
movement points is you're on intersection to intersection.
Okay. And those ones are farther away, but is there any like advantage to them because they're farther away, or are they just kind of the same as these ones, but they're far away?
It's not so much advantages. It allows a smoother game, so you don't end up with like all the planets here.
Right.
You don't end up with like all the low numbers here and all the 8s and 6s out there.
Right.
This way, mechanically, it's just a good way to have a good, even distribution of numbers.
It's a fair.
It makes the game faster.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then I see we flipped over one of these things with the cannon symbol on it, and there's a couple over there as well.
That would indicate a pirate base.
Oh, so that's a pirates?
That's the pirates.
And so that's the number that you have to roll greater than or equal to in order to smash
to
the
have-
pirates?
In that particular case, you have to have 5 cannons on your mothership.
That seems like a lot of cannons.
It's very much a cannon. So I know that, late in the game, that's a place to go.
Okay.
You can't settle here
Not
or
gonna
here
fight
because
them.
there's pirate planets.
Need
You come
more
around to that
resources.
size, fine. But in order to get that, so I've got 6 on this cannon.
Right.
be no
Well, and that
problem.
cannon's fine, but that cannon's also like
Yeah, this is very, very
the
big
craziest
game.
ship in the history of ships.
Exactly.
Okay. What are some other things that we'll see if we flip these over? Are there other?
Yeah,
Let's like
flip
I was
'em.
gonna say, let's
Find
have some fun. Flip, and there's more cannon pirates. Oh, I knocked over this yellow guy. Sorry.
All right, here we have an ice planet.
Ooh, is that the
blue
3
one.
with the shiny? Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
with
What's
the
that?
pot.
What is
So
that?
ice planets, they need to be terraformed. They're too hard to get any resources
Right.
out of.
Cold.
So that case, if you have 3 freight pods
Yeah, those look
on
like these.
there,
Okay.
you can carry the equipment
get that
there
stuff.
to terraform.
That,
So when you do,
yes, what
let's
happens?
say if I flew up there, I have enough stuff.
Mhm.
I just take this off, toss it aside. I take the matching one,
Right,
3.
right.
That's worth 1 victory point for me.
Mhm.
And then I take one of these pirate or ice random tokens, flip it over,
And put that
that's
there.
the card.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Those ones are bigger than the ones that we saw here. What's the
Correct.
difference between those ones?
This is each ice planet and each pirate base has an analog victory point marker.
Okay.
So you take the small one off, and you flip this one over. You know it's a point.
Okay.
That's it.
And I'm also noticing there's some cutouts here
Yeah.
with the planets. What does that mean? How does that affect the game?
One of the other great things, improvements that was made with this is the old Starfarers of Catan was just a fold-out board with a pre-printed thing. So there wasn't a whole lot of variability, which is kind of a signature to Catan,
Right.
the variable
Yeah,
board.
that's one of the cool
Yeah. So this, we have it set up as kind of the beginning first game beginners setup. But once players become more advanced, you can start out with all of the pieces upside down. And you do not find out what these planets are until your ship reaches this
Sector.
intersection and it flips over, and then you find out what these are. And these would be sitting beside the board, face down, and randomly put out here and then flipped up. So it adds more variability in discovering rather than knowing what's all out there. It's, you know, getting all the way out here, flipping them over and being surprised with
Yeah.
what's underneath.
Yeah, I see that it adds to variability, and then it also sounds like you said it adds to like levels of difficulty of the game too.
Yep. You can start, you know, with everything face up right away if you want. You can start with just the numbers flipped down, but the planet's up.
Right.
Or you can start with everything face down and everything's a surprise.
Going
So
blind.
it gives you a few levels of getting into and becoming familiar with the game.
And
Okay.
on top of that, there's actually one more sector than there are spaces in the board.
Oh.
So even the number of planets and the number
Right.
of aliens
You may
can be
run
variable.
into just
Yeah, right.
An extra
empty.
blank instead of one of these planetary
I
systems.
Right.
And then I'm sure it says in the rules like what to put where when
Yeah.
you want certain difficulty
Exactly.
attached to that. That's really cool. It's always nice to have a game that's variable like that because like sometimes replayability isn't just about what more the game can do, but sometimes it's about like what more you can do with the
Right.
game as well. And I like that this has like both of those elements to that, which is really cool.
That's sort of the core of the Catan
Yeah.
experience.
Awesome.
And that was one of our sort of like mission 2 in the game when we were thinking about the redesign was how do we make this more like Catan in its flexibility, variability, joy, and exploration compared
Cool.
to the old version.
I like that. I had a question, but I forgot
I don't
what
know.
it was. Oh no, I remember what it was. Can you walk us through a round of play? Just let me see like where encounters come into play and what does a typical day in the Catan Starfarer's life look like.
Perfect.
Sure.
Want to start
You wanna
turn?
start?
Oh my god, absolutely.
Yeah,
So I
alright.
start by rolling.
Roll the dice.
Roll
Yep.
anywhere. I'll try not to like knock over some stuff. Oh, I did okay.
10. So everything, well, first
What
off,
does that mean?
we'll have some random cards in our hand
Okay,
to
cool.
start.
Let's do that.
And we'll shuffle.
Go ahead.
And this is normal. At the beginning of the game, everybody's got 3 random resource cards in their hand. 3? This is 2.
I think it's
Yeah. It's the problem with playing the game first time after playtesting a million different versions. It's
Oh,
like
I
you have
know.
to remember what were the final rules.
Absolutely. You're like,
Not
what is
the-
it
the
today
8
and not last
other
week?
rules
Yeah.
that came in it. So
Thank you.
Two for Kelly.
Thank you.
There we go. And that's the random.
Again, I like the art. Thank you, Franz.
So now we look at the board to see what we've got. So the red player over there would get a yellow. Any other 10s? No other 10s. Since it's your turn,
Yeah, my turn.
you currently have 4 victory points, as
Right.
indicated there. You'll
You
see
always
there's-
start with 4?
Everybody start.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. Okay, cool.
Or 3, 4.
Right.
So since you have 4 victory points, you'll
Yes.
notice that little bracket on the 4 to 7 green dots, and it's got
Right here.
the picture of 2 cards on the
Resources,
bottom.
yeah.
So since you're in that area, you're going to get 2 free resources
Oh, awesome.
every
Okay.
turn.
Every turn.
That's a new
Right,
edition.
and then it changes to the 9, 10, and then you don't get anything 10, 15.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
Cool. All right, so I've got my resources now. What do I do now?
So now you can, like Catan, build and trade. So, if you look at your building cost
Oh, yeah,
cards,
let me look at the turn
you can see
overview
what,
as well.
what things would cost.
So this is the step I just did with
Yep,
the
you
4
roll
through
and you
7.
got your stuff.
Take additional resource cards. Okay, then it says trade resources or build in any order, and I'm the blue one, so I'm chilling over there.
Mhm.
How can would I just build where I am, or how does movement
Well,
come into play?
movement comes after building and trading. So
Okay.
that's the key phases in this. So
And
you
do I have to
all your
build-
builds, all your trades.
Mm-hmm.
First turn of the game, I try to build another ship
Yeah,
if I can.
I was gonna say because
So
I can only
if-
build where I am, right?
That's correct. You can
Okay.
only build adjacent to one of these
Where you're
spaceports
located, right.
in the 2 adjacent intersections.
Okay, so let me look and see what I got here. I'm looking at the options.
So a couple of goods, a fuel and an ore, or a food, a carbon, a fuel, and an ore.
What? Oh. What if I can't like build anything useful? I can only build a freight pod.
Freight
That's
pods
useful.
are good.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, freight pods are useful.
Yeah, 'cause I
Here,
can't
let's
build
take
any of
this
the
one
other
here.
ones.
Ooh.
So do you start with one of these always?
Everybody starts with one
Okay.
booster.
Yeah, I think I can only build a freight pod, so
That
I'm just
seems
gonna
cool.
give some of these resources to
All
me.
right.
And I'm
Do
gonna
that.
take a freight pod,
Freight
and this
pod.
goes in this like little hole here,
Yeah,
vertically.
yeah.
Oh wow. That was so satisfying. These components are great.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. What happens now?
All right, so are you trading? Are you done building?
I think I would like to trade.
All right.
Yes.
What are you offering? What do you
I
need?
have a yellow thingy. I don't know
That's
what it is.
fuel.
Fuel.
I have fuel. I have fuel.
I will totally trade you this carbon.
Oh my
for
god, that's
fuel.
literally what I wanted.
Really?
Yes.
Perfect. See,
I was
I'm
just about to
psychic.
ask that. Wow. Okay,
There you
cool.
go. There you go.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, so we're trading. Right, that was the third one.
Yep.
And now I get to shake the mothership again.
That's right. So now trading and building is done. We move
Right.
to the next phase is shaking mothership.
So how
So shake the mothership.
is there like finesse to shaking the mothership? Like how long?
Well,
should
you
we shake
want to
the
make sure at
mothership?
least it goes upside down
Okay.
and then back down. But
Is there a limit to how long you should be shaking the mothership?
that's determined by the people you play with.
Okay. Because I can
And their
definitely see
level
how
of
some
patience.
friends will be like, but then I also have some friends will be like, we're here all day,
Yeah.
all
No,
day, every day.
The rules do say you have to at least invert it once.
At least invert it once.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, we're doing it. We're shaking. I'm gonna shake. I like shaking. Okay, here we go. I've got a black and a blue.
All right.
Encounter.
So what is the rule?
Oh, this is the
Friendship,
best.
yeah.
Yeah, the player to your. So okay, so even if you get a black with any combination of the other things,
Yep.
you still get an
Yes,
encounter.
you always
That's
can.
correct.
Okay, so the player to my left reads the encounter card aloud. Your speed is 3.
And Kelly would be your left because my dyslexic brain is saying it's me.
And then, so is it 3 plus 1 for blue?
Nope, just
No?
3.
Just 3.
No. But
Alright.
Kelly reads the encounter.
Go ahead, and Kelly, read the encounter.
You receive a distress call from a starship hurtling into a sun. Do you respond to the distress call?
Yeah.
All right. Compare your speed with the player to your left. That's me.
Okay.
Shake your respective motherships and compare the mothership speed.
Okay.
Is your result equal to or greater than the other players?
Just good
So
luck.
we shake.
Yeah, we're wishing luck.
I have
red
a
and
yellow and a yellow, which is 2, 2, and so that's 4.
I have a red and a
Plus
yellow.
And
your boosters.
Plus my booster, which is
Okay.
5.
Cool.
You have,
I have a red and a
3
yellow.
plus 2, which is 5, plus 1 is 6. So yes, yours is faster than mine.
Awesome. What happens now?
You rescue a high-ranking diplomat and receive 1 fame medal piece.
Ooh.
Take 1 resource at random from each opponent's hand.
Ooh.
No!
That was a good one. I did
That's
awesome.
a really good one.
I did so good. Okay, I want to take stuff.
Fine.
I'm taking stuff. All right. This is cool. All right, so we did that.
So
we did the
now
encounter.
your base speed is 3
Right.
because that was
Right.
what
with the
happens
black
on
card,
an
yeah, your base
encounter.
speed is 3.
And you have 1 booster on your ship,
Which
so that
means-
means all of your rocket ships on the board can
Mhm.
move up to 4 spaces.
4 spaces.
Mhm.
And now the 5th step here is moving the spaces.
That's correct.
And I'm blue.
Mm-hmm.
Can you move me?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you. Can you move
Go
me
this
like
way or that way?
I wanted to go to the top.
All right,
like,
so
okay,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
What
there.
do you got? You got 4?
That's good. I got 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, so what do I do now that I'm there? I see the number
Right
4.
there, you can kind of just sit there and look at
Oh,
the
I'm
cool
chilling?
planets. Yep.
Oh, okay.
In
It's
order,
move-
to,
you said movement.
in order to settle on the planets, if you could have moved your ship here,
Right.
then you could take the transport off,
Right.
and then you would have a colony there.
Right, but I can't
But
do
right
that.
now, you're just checking out the planet system.
I'm chilling. Okay, so that makes sense. So the rules, the typical round of play: roll the dice, take resources, maybe
Yep.
based on that.
Yep.
trade with people,
Mm-hmm.
and then do the shake, shake, shake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then move based on that.
Yep.
Yes.
That's how
it.
it
Yeah.
is every time.
See,
Rinse
it
and repeat.
really
Okay.
is more simple than I think it looks.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Mechanically and turn-wise.
Yeah, it definitely. I think what advantage this game has is that it looks involved, but not like intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like there's a
Yes,
lot going
it's
on,
absolutely approachable.
which like lures you in because it's fun, but then it keeps you because it actually is fun and it's not super intimidating and scary like some
Yeah.
other games that have a lot of
Yeah.
components like this.
Yeah.
That's really cool. This game seems really fun. You said it was for 3 to 4.
3 to 4 players.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a preference as to which one you prefer to play with?
I always like 4 because that gives me 3 other people to trade with.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's smart.
It takes a
actually.
little longer because there's more competition for the spaces, but
Mhm.
for me, I love games with lots of interaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I'm honestly the
I'm
same.
kind of a hustler, and so I like to
Amazing.
talk people out of stuff. play
Amazing.
off
Yeah.
people. So for me, the
Hilarious.
more people I can chat with and pit against each other, the better. But
Yes. Okay. So you said again this is a reboot of a game that came out before, but do you have any plans for the future of this game? Are there any plans for expansion for the game as well?
there are plans in the works.
Obviously, don't tell us things that you're
No,
not allowed
no,
to tell us,
I
but
will
please.
never spill state secrets.
Yep,
and
yeah, let
unless
us
I'm
know as
teasing
much as we're allowed to know.
State secrets intentionally.
Okay.
But for this one, we are still working on a 5-6 player.
Okay.
Mission 3 of this game, like I said, Mission 2, lots of variability.
Right.
Mission 3 was faster.
Right, okay.
Compared to 2000 to now, people expect a faster game experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the 5-6 player version we've been playing had been still a little too slow.
Okay.
So I think it's a nut we can crack,
Mhm.
but as soon as we're satisfied that we have a better, fun, fast 5-6 player version, we'll bring out an expansion.
How long does the game take as it is right now?
About, if you know the rules, say like an hour and a half. First time you play, maybe 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
It kind of depends on your play group.
But
you know.
I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like a minimal amount of commitment without having to be like a drive-by, I guess.
Exactly. It's
That's
like a
pretty
game
nice.
evening. Like, all right, maybe start with a light little fast thing. All right, we're starfaring,
Yeah.
and then you got your light closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And you
that.
said this is a prototype, right?
Everything you see here is real,
Yeah, I was like, this
except
stuff looks pretty
for
dope.
the
Printed
cards.
pieces.
Those are prototype
Oh, yeah,
cards.
okay.
Cards.
And the big cards also. In
Okay.
fact, the little white outline you see is the actual size the real cards will be.
Oh, okay.
And this box I actually hand wrapped myself.
I know, and you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Honestly.
There are also some other components in the box, vacuform trays. So there'll be a tray that holds all these.
Cool.
A cool, I sort of have half of one of them
Sneak
here.
peek,
This is
sneak peek.
card trays.
Cool.
So you'll have trays to keep all the cards,
Mhm.
all segregated nicely like
Component
this, so
trays
they're not
for all
spilling
of
all
these.
in.
For all these boots.
Yeah,
Yep,
keeps
one-
them more contained.
Okay.
Exactly.
When
That's helpful.
will the game be accessible to people?
Late October,
Okay.
maybe early November,
Maybe
if
early
we're unlucky
November.
with customs.
Oh,
but you never
yes.
know.
Ah, yes.
Once it gets to customs, it's all in their hands. We have no say.
Knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that seems pretty neat. Can people at Gen Con play this game though, like while they're
Yes,
here for the weekend?
at the show all weekend long. We've got 2 tables going nonstop from morning to night.
What is your booth number so people know where to go?
1229.
Thank you,
1229. Nice.
Under the big sun.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
okay.
right.
You
Under
got the
the
actually
That
I've seen
big
it.
inflatable
Yeah, it's got the
sun.
big.
Yeah.
Kelly. Look for the Catan Sun, you'll find us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this game seems pretty fun. I like that it's pretty easy to get into, but that also there's a lot of strategy going on with this game. And I honestly I love games that are like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. That's like the perfect amount of commitment for a game where you don't feel like you've been there all day, but you also aren't just like, well, I guess that's over.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
That's fair.
Cool. Yeah, this looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming down to our studio. to talk
Thanks for
about it.
having us.
Yeah,
We
Of
thank
course,
you
appreciate
so
it.
of
much.
course.
This
It's
was
been
super
great.
fun.
It's been awesome. All right. Well, hello, Internet. Again, this is a hello
Thanks,
goodbye.
everybody.
Because we had some fun. Go see it at, what is it, 12?
1229.
12:29 to play Catan Starfarers. Bye, everybody.